On the way tomorrow.
Chief Meteorologist Emily Roehler joins us now with a look at your First Alert 6 forecast.
Yeah, we're continuing the trend of active mornings. We had a rainy start today. A lot of sunshine out there now. We're going to stay warm and sunny for the rest of this evening. High temperatures have made their way back into the mid-80s, and we're dealing with a little bit of a heat index, feeling closer to the 90s. Now, late tonight into tomorrow morning, our next rain chance builds in. That could bring us a few rumbles of thunder through Thursday morning. And then after that, we're turning our attention to a pretty warm end to the week. We're turning up the heat to the 90s and bringing in even more muggy air. So pretty uncomfortable stretch of days to get you a first alert to. In the meantime, it's not so bad out there for our Wednesday evening. A little on the warm side, especially compared to the pleasant temperatures we've enjoyed lately. As we get to about midnight, we're heading into Thursday morning. The clouds start to build, and shortly after that, we're expecting a few showers and thunderstorms to develop. These likely pop up right around 2 to 3 in the morning, pretty close to the Missouri River, and we likely have the highest threat for some heavy thunderstorm downpours by 3 a.m. near Nebraska City, Rockport, and Falls City, with some scattered showers into the metro. That chance will lift north through the morning, so by about 6 a.m. we'll see a better chance for a few spotty storms and heavy downpours into the metro, and everything starts to push into western Iowa. So as you head out the door for the commutes, we may already be drying out, so maybe some lingering wet roads, but the chance for ongoing heavy downpours will get lower as we move through the morning Thursday, and will quickly break into sunshine by the late morning hours. As far as the rainfall potential with this, there are going to be some locally heavy amounts. A lot of us are going to wind up in that 1/10 of an inch range, but where we see some of those heavier thunderstorms, we're going to see pockets of 1/4 of an inch to maybe an isolated, really quick 1/2 an inch to 3/4 of an inch. So that could cause some localized spots of flooding, especially with the soggy ground that we do have left over from our latest round of rain today. Now, as we look ahead to tomorrow, we'll have plenty of sunshine by the afternoon, so we're drying out pretty fast. We start off with temperatures in the 70s, and it's going to be a toasty day near 90, a high of 89 expected around the metro. Plan for a high of 92 in Lincoln, 88 around Harlan, 90 in Shenandoah, and this doesn't even factor in the humidity. When you add in that really muggy air we're going to be dealing with, we have a moderate heat risk for most of the area tomorrow. That's for a heat index between 90 to 100. And as we warm up even more for Friday, most of us, including the metro, go into that major heat risk zone. So you want to think about limiting your time outside with a feels like temperature as hot as 105 for the end of the work week. Saturday, not much better. A high of 96 on Friday, 92 Saturday. Storm chances come late Saturday into Sunday. That'll cool us down to the mid-80s. We're going to stay active into the start of next week with some scattered storm potential back again next Wednesday and Friday, with high temperatures close to seasonal most afternoons. You can stay on top of the forecast by downloading our First Alert 6 weather app. You can find that free in the App Store. We've had a couple of active mornings, and we have one more on the way.
Yeah, things were so loud out there this morning.
Yeah, they really were. I took a video and sent it to Jarrett, actually, so
I slept through
the windows. Nice.
Impressive.
Well, you can, yeah.
All right, thanks, Emily. Well, Omaha's mayor
Alert to another round of storms tomorrow morning. I'll take you through the hour-by-hour forecast. You can plan around the rain coming up.
First Alert tonight for another round of storms.
Chief Meteorologist Emily Roehler joins us now with a look at your First Alert 6 forecast.
Yeah, we're starting off tomorrow morning, potentially very similar to how we started this morning. Take a look at our rain totals from early today. 1.5 inches recorded out at Epley, about 1.25 inches out at Millard, picking up over 1/2 inch in Fremont. We had some pretty high totals just out to the northeast of the metro, with Harlan picking up about 3/4 inch. We likely have some heavier pockets in there with over 1.25 inches recorded in Carroll. Now, our storm chances are still a ways off, but this is where where they're building in from. A lot of moisture over the Rockies. This will make its way to us by tomorrow morning, pretty early in the morning for some of us, and it's going to fire up the potential for showers and some isolated thunderstorm downpours. In the meantime, the rest of this evening is looking dry and pretty sunny. We're at 86 right now, but we are feeling closer to 90. So if you're trying to maybe take your dog out for a walk, keep that heat and humidity in mind. Might be uncomfortable through about 6 o'clock. As we get to about 7 to 8, start to fall a little bit further into the low 80s. It's going to be a bit more comfortable out there later on tonight. And that'll be something to think about over the next few days as the heat starts to return. In the meantime, by about midnight, we're bringing in some cloud cover, and underneath some of these clouds, maybe an isolated shower. Once we hit about 2 to 3 in the morning, however, this is where that storm chance really gets going. Starts off pretty spotty with the best chances down to the south, and that'll gradually spread north. So I would say for the metro, best window for storms, that's going to be between about 2 a.m. and 6 a.m. Then our focus kind of shifts into western Iowa, where we have some isolated heavy downpours that could continue up through about 8 to 9 a.m. But I think most of this rain is done ahead of the morning commute, with some sunshine on the way by our Thursday afternoon. So with those morning storms clearing up by 8 o'clock, should be okay for your morning drive. Want to get you a first alert to that potential for wet roads and maybe some spots of localized flooding with some of those early downpours and very saturated ground from this morning's round of rain kind of combining there. We're going to warm up quickly, high near 90, warm and humid. We're still in the 80s by about 10 p.m. tomorrow night. A high of 89 for Omaha, 90 in Plattsmouth, 92 in Lincoln, and we'll be in the mid to upper 80s over western Iowa, mainly upper 80s to near 90, and we'll be turning up the heat even more for Friday. High temperatures for everyone, soaring into the 90s, 96 for the metro, 97 around Lincoln, and both of these days going to be very humid. That humidity will be sticking around into next week, so you want to add on a handful of degrees to those high temperatures, and that's what it's going to be feeling like, closer to the mid 90s Thursday and more like 100 to 105 for the feels like temperature on Friday. Now, storm chances get here late on Saturday and continue into Sunday morning. That'll come with a cool down, pushing us back into the 80s with another round of storms Sunday evening. That could linger until Monday morning, and we have a couple of days near seasonal before high temperatures start to climb by next Thursday and Friday. So a lot of heat in the forecast, a lot of storm chances as well. This is going to be a pretty active pattern, so just keep an eye on the forecast if you have any outdoor plans.
Yeah, good call there for sure. My goodness.
By tomorrow, the ground is going to be very saturated.
Yeah, it's already a little soggy in my grass. Yeah.
Thanks, Emily. Well, new at 5 tonight on First Alert 6, car thefts spiking in a Nebraska community.
Really sitting over the Rockies. This is where we have all that moisture, but it's on the way, and that's going to be pushing in by tomorrow morning, bringing us our next chance for showers and thunderstorms that could impact maybe those hours ahead of your morning commute. Satellite and radar picture for now, just showing some clouds finally working into eastern Nebraska, but overall, it's been a sunny afternoon once those morning clouds broke. Right now, looking out from 144th and Dodge, you can see a lot of blue sky. A lot of warmth to go around. We're still at 87. We're going to slowly cool down tonight, so it gets a bit more comfortable through the rest of this evening. If you want to head out for a walk, we're dealing with a little bit of a heat index out there today, and that will only get worse as we move through the rest of the work week. Now, looking ahead to tomorrow, it's going to be a warm start to a pretty warm day, and we're also looking ahead to that stormy start. Our best rain chances will be by about 6, 7 a.m. around the metro before things kind of wrap up. We'll be taking a closer look at the hour-by-hour forecast, planning around that thunderstorm threat tomorrow that's coming up. Jacqueline.
All right, Emily, thank you. Well, we're going to have to take a look at this video. This morning's rain moving some manhole. On First Alert for more heat and humidity as we head toward the weekend.
Chief Meteorologist Emily Roehler has your full First Alert 6 forecast.
Yeah, it'll be getting uncomfortable. We are already kind of feeling the warmth and mugginess out there today. So if you're trying to get outside, it's not going to be bad tomorrow. That's probably one of our better choices before we start to really heat up Friday and Saturday. Those are probably the worst days to plan something outside, as that intense heat builds. You will have to plan around a few storms early tomorrow, with storm chances making a return Saturday nights and into the tail end of the weekend. So let's talk about this first round of rain. I want to get you a first alert to this. It's moving in overnight. So by about midnight, the clouds start to increase, and underneath those clouds, maybe an isolated shower. But it's not until about 2 in the morning that we start to see a better storm chance pop up. These are going to be pretty isolated at first, and by 2 a.m., mostly concentrated south of the metro, although we could have a few storms that are already pushing up into the metro at that point. Chances will lift north as we move through the morning, so they're going to be spreading in coverage. So it could be an early wake up for you around the metro with some of those spotty storms bringing in some isolated heavy downpours, pretty low severe risk, but we may see some isolated spots of flooding just due to the saturated ground that we already have from this morning's heavy round of rain. By the time 6 o'clock rolls around, that is the end of our best chance for storms on the Nebraska side, but we still have rain chances into western Iowa through about 8 a.m., and those should wrap up through the morning. We'll have sunshine making a return for our Thursday afternoon. So as far as the potential rainfall with this, we could see some spots of heavy rain where those thunderstorms land. So you'll notice some of these darker green shades. That's where we could be looking at totals up to about 3/4 of an inch. A lot of us are going to wind up in that 1/10 of an inch to 1/4 of an inch range, where we just catch the edge of a storm or maybe some of those consistent showers through the morning. As we move through the morning, we're going to clear up pretty fast. A lot of sunshine in store tomorrow, and we're headed to a high near 90, 89 for the metro. We're still pretty warm by 10, sitting at 83, and it's going to be a hot day across the board for everybody. High temperatures closer to 90 for most, 92 in Lincoln, 91 around Nebraska City, and 89 for Harlan. This is going to put us, when we add in that humidity, in that heat risk zone that's moderate for most of the area. So you want to think about those outdoor plans, maybe limit your time outside. Heat index could be between 90 to 100 degrees. It becomes more of a concern for Friday. This is our hottest day with highs in the mid-90s for most of us. Heat index will be at 100 to 105, enough to push us into that major heat risk zone for areas in red, and that does include the metro. We're going to stay hot into the start of the weekend, 92 for Saturday. Late storms will cool us down into Sunday, a high of 86. Another round Sunday evening into Monday. Will stay near seasonal through the first half of next week, ahead of our next warm up back to the 90s by Friday. You can stay on top of the forecast by downloading our First Alert 6 weather app. You can find that free in the App Store. Jacqueline.
All right, Emily, thank you.